I'm Peter Loshak, and we are talking right now with Tony George, returning guest from TonyGeorgeSports.com, LockerRoomPicks.com, and his brand new radio show at the Yahoo Sports Network every Sunday morning. Tony George, thanks for being back with us this week.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Peter.
All right, Carolina and Minnesota is what we're going to talk about, but first tell us how things are going at TonyGeorgeSports.com and promote your radio show a bit.
Well, you know, I like to come on here and not be a loudmouth tout, so I'll tell it like it is. Lost my NFL game of the year last weekend.
Oh.
I think I told you off the air it was going to be Denver. I drank the Kool-Aid, and their defense gave up 48 points, so we didn't get it done. I like to tell it like it is, and, you know, it's gambling. You move on, and if you like honesty, experience, and, you know, a veteran handicapper knows how to bounce back, check out the action at TonyGeorgeSports.com. And also the radio show, Locker Room Picks Radio Show, 8 o'clock Eastern, Sunday morning, Yahoo Sports Radio. Go to their website. You can listen to the live stream or catch one of their 400 affiliates.
Okay, sounds great, Tony George. And yeah, that just goes to underscore money management, right? If you have your play of the year, that still should not be that many more units than your average unit size. Money management is essential when it comes to sports betting in general, and especially in the NFL. All right, Carolina at Minnesota, the first game we're going to analyze. Now, this is a tough game, tough line. Minnesota is a 2.5-point home favorite. Total's 44 in Minnesota, of course, off the bye, coming back from London. Now they got three shitty quarterbacks, right? Freeman, Castle, and Ponder. And this is just like, look, if you go out one weekend and you bang 3 threes, that's not the same thing as banging a 9, right? You get 3 shitty quarterbacks. Castle's going to start here, but he did play pretty well in London, a little bit better. Is that something he can maintain? I'm not exactly sure. Carolina, off of their bye, they got handled by Arizona's run defense, absolutely shut them down, but Minnesota has a much less impressive run defense, at least by the numbers, than Arizona does this year. But then again, they are off the bye, and maybe an inspiring win that'll light a fire under them. What do you think about this game and these lines?
Well, speaking of shitty quarterbacks, this is a shitty game to pick. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, I could not figure why you have 2 quarterbacks that suck, while you would go out and pay another quarterback that sucks $3 million to show up on campus. I don't get it. Leslie Frazier's obviously on the hot seat up there. In Carolina, it just looked terrible. Cam Newton, the Mike Shula experiment, Rivera bringing him in to help Cam Newton improve his game. He's regressing this year. 3 ugly picks last week at Arizona. A game where I thought off a bye week they might be able to put something together with their defensive numbers. I took them last week and got burnt. I'm not going to do it again. I've also seen Matt Castle's act living here in Kansas City, Peter, for 5 years when he was here at the Chiefs, and him and Scott Pioli basically, and Todd Haley and Romeo Crennel helped run Kansas City into the ground. But at the end of the day here, you take a look at the defensive numbers for Carolina, and you wonder why they are only 1-3. They are ranked 3rd in the NFL in total yards and 3rd in points allowed. And defense in the NFL is supposed to win big games. It's not, because their offense is only scoring 18 points a game, ranked 27th. Conversely, the strength of the Vikings is their offense, believe it or not. They're in the top 10 in scoring, and the weakness is their defense here. So each kind of strengths and weaknesses play into each other here. The play I'm going to make in this game, Peter, is under 44 points. I think it's going to be a tight ball game, a game of inches. Points are going to be at a premium. I think it's going to be difficult for Minnesota to move the ball here, although they'll be tested by Adrian Peterson. He's the best player on the field in this game. I'm not sold on Minnesota quarterbacking, especially with Matt Castle, although he did look good against Pittsburgh. Everybody looks good against Pittsburgh this year. Trust me, take the under 44 here.
All right, that makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, Carolina, the reason they're 1-3 is because they had close calls, right? They lost to Buffalo just by 1. They played Seattle very tight. It's still a young season. I'm agreeing with you, Tony George. I'm thinking under 44 is the way to go here. Great analysis. Thanks.
You bet. Best of luck this weekend.